How are you, everybody? Can you hear me okay? Please let me know if you are hearing me okay or not. I'd like to hear some feedback from you. Is the sound okay? If it is, so we can then do some Q&A. Send in your question, and I will try to answer them. From Adelaide, Bethany, my respect, Ajahn. She may grab Ajahn. Stacy Sai, good afternoon. Stacy Sai can hear. Palang Ratnak, Satu, Satu. Mary Ann, Satu. She may, yes, Ajahn, we can hear you. Naomi Jonas, hello Ajahn, the sound is good. Adelaide Bethany, we hear you okay, but it could be a little louder. I have to be closer then. Maybe this is better. Matt Drusen Ajahn, can a monk still help his parents? Thank you. Yes, the Buddha allowed the monks to look after their parents. He can give some of the food that he gets from his alms collection to his parents. The Buddha gave the parents the priority. Monks can share the food with their parents and look after their health, their well-being. Felicia Chan, Satu, Satu. From Patrick N.G. Pante, I feel joy killing mosquitoes. What do I need to do to keep the first precept properly? You have to think, if you are the mosquito, will you still be happy if somebody kill you? Because the mosquitoes have feelings just like you do. And the mosquitoes don't want to be killed like you don't want to be killed. So you have to think yourself in terms of the mosquitoes. Then you don't want to have anybody to kill you. So you don't want to kill any mosquitoes and feel good. Adelaide Bethany, Echi Joy at Wat Pavantat asked me to tell if you could put the sound stronger, depending quality of mobile, sometimes difficult. Yes, this is about all the loudness I can do. I'm speaking very close to the phone already. So you have to turn up your sound volume and then maybe put the phone right next to your ear. Stacy Sai, I'm facing the same problem. Chonburi MTR. Jojo, good morning Ajahn. There is a story when Buddha taught his mom for 3 months in Devaram. What kind of achievement or attainment a human can achieve to have a similar power like Buddha? Is it an arahant? The ability to connect to the spiritual beings is in the samadhi level. You have to be able to access the upajjhara samadhi level. That's where you can have psychic power. Then you can connect with the spiritual beings. But if you want to teach Dhamma also, then you have to be an arahant in order to be able to teach other spiritual beings to attain to Nibbana. If you only have psychic power, then you can just communicate. But if you don't have any knowledge of enlightenment, then you cannot share this knowledge of enlightenment with the spiritual beings. So this is two different abilities. The ability to connect to spiritual beings by Upajjhara Samadhi, and the ability to teach other spiritual beings to become enlightened. This you have to be a noble disciple, at least a Sotapanna, all the way up to the Arahant. Sime, dear Ajahn, I realize that my mind is uplifted by inspirational Dhamma talks. But when the inspiration dies off, the mind will fall asleep. How should I practice to prevent the mind from falling asleep when boredom sets in? Sadhu. And thank you, Ajahn. Then you just have to keep on listening to Dhamma talks. Now you are lucky because there are so many Dhamma talks already recorded. You can listen to Dhamma talks at any time you like. So when you feel that you have lost the inspiration, then you just keep on listening to more Dhamma talks, and then you will be inspired and energized to do the practice again. From CI May, the sound is loud enough with earphones. Okay? If you have a problem with listening, maybe use the earphone, it might be better for you. Thanks, Ajahn, for responding. I will tell her from Adelaide, the Bethany. From Po Leong Soon, as normal Buddhists, what are the minimum practice need to do a day? You need to keep the 5 precepts. This is the minimum practice that you have to do every day of your life. And if you can give dana as much as you can. And if you can meditate as much as you can. So these are the 3 practices that a normal Buddhist should do. From Suranjit Darshana, thank you for your love. Jojo, thank you, Ajahn. From Gleb Aldrich, sound is fine. Okay. From Nabiti, Namaskar, Ajahn. If I speak close, the sound will be good, but my face will be full in the screen. If I sit back, you can see me better, but the sound might be a little bit lighter. So there's a trade-off here between the sound and the image. From Cornell Kennedy, which is more useful, more wise? Build a monastery or run a monastery, or just meditate? Meditate first, become enlightened first. Then building a monastery will come naturally afterwards. You don't have to build. Somebody will offer their support for you to build and lead a monastery once you can become a meditation teacher. So meditate first. Develop meditation and become enlightened, like the Buddha and his noble disciple. They didn't worry about building monasteries. They keep practicing until they become enlightened. Then afterward, monastery will pop up wherever they go. From Tane Poi In, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. From Adeline Chins, Sukhi Hom Tu Ajahn. From Po Liang Soon. Thank you, teacher Ajahn, to give guide to me as normal Buddhist. Sadhu, sadhu. From Adelaide, the Bethany, right, Tanajan. The sound is better when near the screen. Okay, but my face get bigger also, and you can only see my face. So maybe the sound is more important than the face. So don't bother about the visual more than the audio. From Matthew Khan, how do I work with signs and other strange phenomena arising in my practice? You should ignore them and concentrate on your meditation object only. And they are just distractions, and they are like illusions. So don't deal with them. Ignore them and keep concentrating on your meditation object. If you don't concentrate on your meditation object and pay attention to the phenomena, you will be distracted and will not reach your meditation goal of equanimity, calm, and peace and happiness. So ignore everything that arises while you practice. Keep focused, keep concentrating on your meditation object only. From Jojo, Ajahn, you mentioned that once a person dies, that person more or like experiences a sleep waiting for her karma expire for a new reborn. Does that person feel any pain, joy? Yes, just like when you dream. When you dream, sometimes you feel pain, sometimes you feel happiness, sometimes you feel fear. It's like a virtual world, and it's real as far as you are concerned. You didn't know that you were dreaming only after you awake. During dreams, you feel like things are really happening to you. So it's like being alive when you dream. You will feel pain, joy, suffering, fear, and everything, depending on the type of dreams you fall into. Will that be in instant that a rebirth happens when person dies? I can understand your last question here. If it means that rebirth happens right away, reborn as a human being might take time. You might have to exist as a spiritual beings for some time before you can take up a new human birth again. From Kevin Sudato, hi Ajahn, Namaste. Had experienced Khanda. It's a heavy load that had a downward force of pulling one into the law of karma. If one attached to it and thinking the Khanda is one will eventually fall into the control of the law of karma, which is suffering. The Khanda is actually come from the same mind, which when one is unaware, that is one that is attached to the Khanda, and only awareness and knowing of one. The Khanda is let go, which fall into anicca, anatta, and dukkha. The magga of the path is every moment that when you are in the knowing. Can I ask what I know and experience in my meditation is correct? If you see the Khanda as anicca, dukkha, anatta, that's correct. And all you have to do is let go of your attachment toward the five Khanda, the Rupa Khanda, the Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana Khanda. Once you let go, then you can become enlightened. From Shi Chin Chuan, Ajahn, when you said tired from chanting, we can watch mindfully of our body movement. How do we do that? Just know what you do. See, if you're walking, just know that you're walking. Watch your step, right step, left step as you move. If you move your arm, just know that you are moving your arm. If you are taking food into your mouth, just know that you're taking food into your mouth. Just keep watching your action, the body action. Don't let your mind go think about other things. From Kim Ed Chua, Sadhu, Sadhu. From Paul Liang Soon, is it compulsory to have a monk or teacher to guide us as to follow Buddha teaching? Not necessarily. If you can read Dhamma books and you can understand what you read from the Dhamma books and you can practice from the Dhamma books, then you don't need to have a monk to be your teacher. But sometimes it's good to have a life teacher, an experienced teacher, whether a monk or lay person. When sometimes you have questions, then you can ask them. From Cornell Kennedy, dear Ajahn, what's the point of living if it's just an endless cycle of suffering? The point of living is to stop this endless cycle of suffering, to use this life as your last life by practicing the Dhamma, following the teaching of the Buddha. Then when you became enlightened and became an Arahant, then you won't have to be reborn again. But if you don't practice the Dhamma, even if you don't want to be reborn, you will keep be reborning. Only when you can stop all your cravings, get rid of all your cravings from your mind, can you then stop rebirth. So right now, this birth is the best birth you will come across in a long, long time, because this birth allows you to meet the teaching of the Buddha and allow you to practice the teaching, practicing the Dhamma. So this is what this life is for you. The purpose of this life is to practice Dhamma, to stop rebirth and to stop the cycle of suffering. Stacy Sai, Ajahn, how to handle relatives who are kind but easily agitated and angry all the time? You have to be forgiving. You have to think of them like babies. They are emotionally babies. They're not grown up. They cannot control their emotion. So you just have to look at them like babies or little children. You don't get angry with little children or babies because they are ignorant. They don't know how to control their emotion. So you have just to treat them like babies. Then you will not get angry or agitated by their action. From Vipassi, Ajahn, we are so fortunate to be able to listen to your Dhamma talks. It makes our understanding clearer. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Si Mui, dear Ajahn, how is the third Satipatthana Citta Nupassana practice? Thank you, Ajahn. Before you can really get to the Citta Nupassana, you have to pass the body and the feeling first. You have to be able to understand the nature of the body and feeling as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Because if you cannot see the body and feeling as anicca, dukkha, anatta, it means you don't have strong enough mindfulness and wisdom to deal with the mind, the citta nupassana. The mind here means the states of mind, like the emotion and thoughts that are appearing in the mind. So before you can get to the third Satipatthana, you have to be able to pass the first and the second Satipatthana first. You have to be able to understand the true nature of the body and let go of your attachment to the body. You have to understand the true nature of feelings and then let go of the feelings first. before you can come and study the nature of the mind or the states of mind, that they are also anicca, dukkha, anatta. From Adrian B. Bay, Ajahn, can an arahant get dementia, Alzheimer's? Is it then possible for him to forget the Dhamma? As far as an arahant is concerned, he will never forget the Four Noble Truths. He can forget about people's name and places, but as far as the truth of the Four Noble Truths and the anicca, dukkha, anatta, he would never forget. Robert Hugh Lyon, Venerable Uddha Iriyagama Dhammajiva Mahatero, taught in retreat, becoming as the foundation of emotions. I am very fond of becoming and can see it influence in desire and aversion. Even as I type this, I feel becoming. Mindfulness allows you some control over it, but the desire to become is still there. Was there any specific teaching in regard to this? As far as becoming or not becoming is concerned, or even your sensual desire, they can be curbed by your mindfulness and wisdom. The kind of mindfulness you need to have is the level of the fourth jhana. Once you reach the fourth jhana, your mind will be free from the becoming, from the sensual desire. So you first have to develop strong mindfulness to reach the fourth jhana, where you reach equanimity, where your mind becomes neutral, having no love, hate, fear, or delusion, or becoming. Then after that, when you come out of your meditation, try to maintain your mind in equanimity by seeing that everything that your mind has any attachment to as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then eventually you will be able to be free from your attachment to everything, from sensual, from becoming, and from not becoming. From Adeline Chin, Ajahn, you mentioned that you can, from previous life, if you are good in math, art is from previous life experiences. Can you elaborate on it? Well, it has become part of your habits, part of your character. If you used to be good in mathematics, you will continue to be good in mathematics. Because what you lost is just your body. Your mind still is the same person, same one. The same person who is good in math, or in art, or in music. So whatever you're good at in previous life, you can still retain it in your next life. Also, on recognizing people from past life, is that possible? Yes, because people don't change, their character don't change. The way they talk, the way they move around, the way they do things, they tend to retain that also. So when you come across people, you look at their action, then you know whether you like this person or not, or you hate this person, or you don't have any emotion toward this person. That's because of your recognition of his movement, his action, or her action. So sometimes when you meet people, you feel you like that person right away. Sometimes you meet another person and you feel like you don't like that person right away. And sometimes you meet a person and you feel neutral toward that person. That's because in the past you have the same reaction toward these people like that. From Chi Chin Chuan, Ajahn, Have you ever met Ajahn Dhammadaro, Ajahn Subhato before? No, I never have a chance to meet both of them. They passed away. Ajahn passed away long before I became interested in Buddhism. And while Ajahn still exists when I became a monk, our paths never come across each other. So I never had the chance to meet Ajahn personally. Pauline soon. If one person going to die, is he or she will know. Well, do you know when you're gonna die? Usually, most people don't know, except for some highly developed person like the Buddha and the Arahant. Sometimes they can see when they're gonna die. Like the Buddha, he said to Ananda that in 3 months' time he will die. So some people do know and some people don't know. It depends on their mental ability. From Ya Chanisha, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. From Esther Yip, dear John, my mindfulness is very weak. Frequently my mind wanders off during meditation without me knowing it. So you should get up and walk instead of sit. If you find that your mindfulness is weak, then you should develop mindfulness by doing walking meditation instead. Walk for many hours until your mindfulness became strong enough to sit. And when you sit and you find that you still lose mindfulness, then you should not sit yet. You should just keep continuing on walking meditation instead. Because it's useless if you sit and you go to sleep, or your mind keep wandering away from your meditation object. Even when I chant, my monkey mind can still be thinking of something else while my mouth is chanting. This is normal when you don't have mindfulness. So try to do walking meditation instead, and force yourself to keep reciting the mantra Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto while you walk. Until you feel tired of reciting the Bhutto, then you just keep watching your step instead. This is the good method of developing more mindfulness. Walking meditation. In Thai we call Jongkom, Learn Jongkom, walking Jongkom. From Colonel Tanadi, dear John, what is the difference between merits and parami? They are the same thing, we just call them differently. Merits usually refers to the action of generosity or charity, precepts, and meditation. But parami covers more other good karma as well, such as resolution, truthfulness, Viriya Parami, which means effort, and Kanti Parami, which means patience. These are all merits. They are good for the mind. They build up the mind to become strong and wise and become enlightened eventually. From Adrian Bay, Sadhu Bhante. From Kim Achua, to be born as a human being is a very rare opportunity and practice Dhamma. It is known to more fortunate to be born a male rather than a female. Please elaborate. Well, to be born as a human being will allow you to be able to meet the teaching of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. See? So once you have met the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, you can practice the Dhamma. If you are born as an animal, even if you meet the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, you will not understand the Dhamma teaching, and you will not you will not get the benefit from the teaching of the Buddha. And it's more fortunate to be born a male rather than a female, because when you become a male, you can become a monk, and if you become a female, it's very difficult for female to become a monk or a nun. And to practice Dhamma, sometimes you need to go into the deep forest, to the wild. So it's not safe for a woman to do like men do. That's why you don't have as many female enlightened, then you have more male enlightened, noble disciple than female disciples. Because to practice Dhamma, you need to be alone most of the time, and you need to expose yourself to some form of danger in order to create the condition, the environment for you to become enlightened. From C. May, Sadhu, and thank you, Ajahn, for the explanation on Citta Nupassana. My understanding is so much clearer now. Yes. From Emily R. Shelton. As I read Ajahn Mahaprabhu's books, he talks about nimitta. Am I supposed to experience or develop this as I continue to practice? This is not something that will happen to everybody as far as nimitta is concerned. Some people have nimittas and some people don't. If you don't have nimitta, you are considered to be fortunate, because nimitta will be a distraction to your meditation practice. So if you should run into a nimitta when you practice meditation, you just have to ignore them and keep focusing or concentrating on your meditation object. Nimitta can be good or beneficial, but only after you have become enlightened. If you're still not enlightened and you start playing or dealing with nimittas, you can be deceived or be misled by your nimittas. So it's very dangerous for beginners, practitioners to deal with nimitta. They should ignore them and try to concentrate on their meditation object to lead the mind into jhana first. And then later on, after you have some wisdom, then you might be able to deal with the nimitta later on. But when you start, try to ignore them, don't deal with them, don't play with them. Come back to your meditation object to get calm and peace and happiness first. From Ong Apprentice. Good morning, Luang Por. Yes, if you have any question, please send them in, okay? We'll try to do as much as possible today. Sochi Chim, Sadhu Sadhu. From Keman Jenny, Namo Buddhaya Luang Por. From Jojo, dear Ajahn, is it true that once person dies, the mind that knows never dies? Yes, the mind never dies. It's only the body that is returned to its original state of the four elements. The mind still remains the same, just like when the body still exists. If that person being reborn in Deva or Buddharam, does he slightly remember his past life? Some person can have the ability to recollect past life, then they can remember. But some don't have the ability, so they don't remember. But it's not important whether you can remember past life or not. What is important is how to get rid of your suffering. Okay, now we have questions sent into my assistant, and now she is bringing it up, so I have to answer them. From Helga, question number 1. I am confused when Ajahn said, you are not the body, you are the mind. Other master said, you are the consciousness. Could you, Ajahn, clarify how to understand who we are? The mind and consciousness are the same thing. It's just a different terminology we use to describe the mind or the consciousness. So when they say consciousness, they really mean the mind. And when they say the mind, they mean consciousness. So the mind and consciousness is the same thing. What is definite is the body is definitely not you. You are the one who tells the body what to do. You can't possess the body at the time of conception in the womb. And then when the body takes birth, then you use the body to take you to where you want to go, to do what you want to do. But after a while, the body will die. Then when the body dies, you still exist. You're the one who know, the one who think, the one who feel. This is the mind or the consciousness. This one becomes, after the body dies, it becomes a spiritual being. It's called a spiritual being. And it can be either a happy spiritual being or a suffering spiritual being, depending on the good or bad karma. And after the good or bad karma has expired, then the mind will take up another body, another human body. So this is what we call rebirth, the round or cycles of rebirth. This is question number 1. Okay, question number 2 from Helga. If we are the consciousness, is this statement against the concept of anatta? No, see, anatta and atta, they are both concepts. The consciousness is neither anatta or atta. The consciousness is just the knowing element. See, like the body is made up of the 4 elements: the earth, water, fire, and wind element. And we call them atta. But in fact, they are just the 4 elements. Just like the mind is the 5th element, called the knowing element. We use anatta to dispel the concept of atta. But once we truly understand, you'll find that there is neither atta or anatta. They are just elements. Knowing element, earth element, fire element, wind element, and water element. And if the consciousness is still conditioned and subjected to change, how can we say that we are the consciousness? Because we create this concept of we, see, by our thought, by our thinking, by our perception, which is delusional. So we keep thinking that we, the mind, is we, is us, and the body is also us. It's just the concept that the mind forms and then stick to that concept. That's all. In reality, there's no I in anything, no self in anything. You find this out when you meditate and when your mind becomes completely still. When the thought and perception stop working, then the thought of I or I, me, myself will disappear. All that is left is just the knowing. Okay, from Manita Paklin, Satu, I have a question. What is life? Life is the 5 khandha. Our life is made up of the 5 khandha, or the body and mind. Body is half of our life. The other half is the mind. We can see the body, but we cannot see the mind. But we know with the mind. We think with the mind. We tell the body what to do with the mind. The mind is the master of the body. The body is the servant of the mind. The body waits for the mind to tell the body what to do. The body is temporary. The mind is permanent. After the body dies, the mind still continue on and go on to the next until it gets a new body and start a new life again. From Gek Yen So, good afternoon, Tanajan. Regarding the dana transferring merit to those passed away, normally you transfer right away. because it's the good feeling that you transfer, the contentment that you have when you give dana. After a while, this feeling will disappear because you will have other feeling to replace it, because you have to deal with other situation. Then you might have other feelings. The feeling of contentment and happiness that you had from charity will fade away. Or if you try to recollect it, it will be not as full as when you first right after you did your charity. So after you have given dana or charity, you should then share that merit right away. If you wait, then this feeling will eventually fade away. If he/she already passed away for many years, not sure he/she still can get the merit of our dana. Normally, we don't know whether the person that we share the merit with will receive it or not, because we don't know which kind of spiritual being they become. But it's just for the sake of I can't think of the word. Just send it anyway, just in case they wait for this merit. If they don't wait, then it doesn't matter, because most of the merit still belongs to you. So when you make merit, usually you're the one who benefits more than the people who you send the merit to or share the merit to. C. May, dear Ajahn, how do we practice Khanti Parami? I find it very difficult to practice Khanti Parami. Thank you, Ajahn. In order to practice Khanti Parami, you have to have strong mindfulness. You need mindfulness because you have to be patient. Khanti Parami means to be patient, to be enduring under difficult circumstances. And so when you find it difficult, it means your mind wants to react to that difficult situation. So you need to have strong mindfulness. When you find it difficult to practice Khanti Parami, just keep reciting the mantra Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. When you find you want to become angry and you want to react by hurting someone, just keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto instead. And then your mind will become calm, and then you can then remain non-reactive. From Alfred Jr. If the body, mind, and consciousness are combined, how to transcend this state the way to drop it into Nibbana? See, the body and the mind are not combined, they are just connected. The mind sends the stream of consciousness to connect to the body, sensual organs. The mind sends the stream of consciousness to connect to the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, in order to be able to experience the sensual object of images, sound, taste, smell, and touch. So they are not combined, they are just connected. That's all. And as far as Nibbana is concerned, it just means the purity of the mind, pure from defilement, pure from greed, hatred, and delusion. This can be achieved by the practice of samatha and vipassana bhavana. Sun Hoi Cha, Sadhu, Sadhu. Colonel Kennedy, dear Ajahn, why there are Bhante who choose to dedicate their life to building and or running a monastery instead of just meditate in the forest? Why they do what they do? That depends on their ability. Some monks cannot achieve high level of meditation, so then they choose to do something that they can do, like doing physical things, like building monastery or running monastery. But for monks who have the ability to practice higher, to meditate more, they will spend more of their time doing meditation until they eventually become fully enlightened. Once they have become fully enlightened, then they would then turn to teaching other people the Dhamma teaching. So it depends on each individual's ability. Some people just don't have the ability to meditate to become enlightened. So they have to be satisfied with building monastery and running monastery. Some people can practice and become enlightened. So they concentrate on their practice until they become enlightened. And after that, then they concentrate on teaching the Dhamma teaching. From Po Liang Soon, what is the meaning enlightened for a person? Enlightened means to be able to see things as they are and not what you think they are. Normally we think that things that we see are permanent, are good, are making you happy and belonging to you. This is delusion. When you see the opposite, you see that everything is impermanent, everything will cause you suffering, everything doesn't belong to you or being you, then you become enlightened. Another question sent in to Ajahn assistant. This one, the name is B. Lee or B. Lai. I am practicing mindfulness of death by closing my eyes and saying that I may die anytime. I suddenly feel relief and peaceful. How do I know that I am practicing correctly and not inadvertently cultivating vipawa tanha? If you feel peaceful and relieved, then you are practicing correctly. But this is only the first step. After, when you feel relieved and peaceful, if you can watch your breath, you should continue on with your meditation of the breath, watching the breath at the tip of your nose, because you want to bring the mind deeper into itself, into calm and equanimity. So when you first contemplating on death, it makes your mind peaceful and relieved, then you will be able to concentrate on your breath. Then you should concentrate on your breath so that your mind can become more peaceful and more happy and more calm. Chi Chin Chuan. Is it wise and good to read Abhidhamma as a beginner Buddhist? I don't know. I think what you need to know is just basic. The three things that you should know is Dhamma, Sila, and Pavana. That's all you need to know. And then once you know how to practice Dhamma, Sila, and Pavana, then you should then practice. You don't need to study the Abhidhamma or the entire content of the Tripitaka. It's not necessary. All you need to know is to know what you have to practice. What you have practiced is charity, morality, and meditation. That's all you need to do. Okay? Okay, to Emily R. Shelton. I do not have nimitta at all. Thank you, Ajahn. You are lucky. Don't wish for them. But eventually you might have some other thing besides nimitta. You might have feelings, or you might have thoughts, you might have something that might disturb you during meditation, distract you in your meditation. You should try to avoid, try not to pay attention to them. Keep concentrating on your meditation object. From Kim Ed Chua, Ajahn, what I mean was, how can we aspire to be born a male? Well, you just have to act like a male if you want to become a male. For instance, if you're a woman right now, you have to switch your character. You have to do things that male do, see, in order to change your character. Then in your future life, you can become a male. And be born as a Buddhist and in a place to continue the unfinished cultivation into the ultimate bliss. You cannot predict where you're going to be born, when you're going to be born, and whether there will be Buddhism there waiting for you or not. So the wise thing to do is you can be a Buddhist now and practice the teaching of the Dhamma of the Buddha now. Even though if you are female, it doesn't matter so much. A female or male can become enlightened. The only difference is maybe just the difficulty might be more for a female than a male. That's all. But still, we have female enlightened person. We have one of the Mechi or nun, the disciple of Ajahn and Ajahn Mahabua. Her name is Mechi Gal. She became enlightened. She was an arahant. So don't think about the future. You are here now. You have met the Buddha's teaching now. You can practice now. So keep on practicing and become enlightened in this lifetime. Because if you keep postponing to the next lifetime, you will keep postponing again and again later on. Another question from Assistant Ajahn, from Narayanan. Question number 1, is the mind a single entity or a complex function of the brain? No, it's not a function of the brain. The mind is a single entity called the knowing element. And in this knowing element, it has the four functions of feeling, perception, thoughts, and consciousness or awareness. Number 2, from Narayana. Is the mind destroyed at birth or only when someone attains parinirvana? No, the mind is never destroyed. The mind could not be destroyed. The mind is a knowing element, like the earth element, the water element. They could not be destroyed. They remain the same all the time. They remain knowing element, earth element, water element. So when the mind attains nibbana, it doesn't destroy itself. It doesn't self-destruct. It just enters in state of emptiness of defilements, of cravings and delusion. But the mind is fully there, never diminish or lose anything when it enters into parinibbana. From Lim Amway, the Ajahn, in the sutta, it seems it is difficult for women to reborn as men. From the source and the sutta, it seems that men tend to be reborn as men, even though they are committed bad deeds like Devadatta. What is the karma to be reborn as men so as to better condition for spiritual? Say, being a man or a woman is a quality or a characteristic of the mind. This don't change when the body dies. See? The same characteristics still retain in the mind. So once you're a man, you normally will continue to be reborn as a man. If you are a woman, you will continue to be reborn as a woman. The only way to change to be reborn as the opposite sex, you have to change your characteristic, your character in your mind. Instead of thinking as a woman, you should think like a man, for instance. So this will change your future birth from man to woman or from woman to man. You have to change inside your mind. If you don't change, if you still retain the old character, you will still remain the same. You will retain the same sex. If you're a woman, you think like a woman. In this life, the next life, you will also become a woman again. Likewise with men. So you need to change the character in the mind, not in the body. From Fei Yen Wong, dear Ajahn, what can one do to mitigate the impact of bad karma from the act of abortion? You cannot eliminate or erase the bad karma. What you can do to lessen the impact is to do a lot of good karma. In this way, if you have more good karma than bad karma, then the bad karma will take the back seat. You will have to wait for the good karma to take effect first before the bad karma can take effect. So as long as you keep making more good karma than bad karma, then the bad karma will have to wait before your good karma has expired. But once your good karma become less than the bad karma, then your bad karma will then be able to take effect. Paul Liang Sun, is human birth to marry and create child into the world? Is this the purpose of being born as human? To marry and create child into the world? It's the consequence of your cravings. You might have the desire for sexual happiness. So when you're born, you naturally want to be married and have a wife or husband. And when you have sexual intercourse, then you create children. From Kema Jenny, Long Paul, I have been in the state of total bliss. My body non-existent, nor any beings around. Left only the knowing mind in empty space. Could feel only coolness in the air. No more heartbeats, noted the emptiness. This state lasted like eternity. But I came out of it. What should I do to go further from there? Go back in again. This is all that you will get from meditation. This emptiness, this state of good feeling and coolness. If you want more, you just have to meditate more and go back into it. But if you want to go further, higher, when you come out of meditation, then you have to develop vipassana or insight by studying the three characteristics, the nature of all existence. That everything is permanent, constantly changing, never remain the same. Everything doesn't belong to you or always under your control. If you want them to be permanent or always under your control, you will have dukkha. If you don't want to have dukkha, then you have to leave them alone. Let them change, let them be what they want to be. So then you can then get rid of the bad feelings arising from your attachment to things and people. So that's the next level. You have to contemplate the nature of body, feelings, and consciousness. One by one. First the body, then the feelings, then eventually the states of mind. From Adrian Bay, Ajahn, is Khanti alone enough to get enlightenment? No, it's one of the 10 perfections. You need the other 9 to get you to enlightenment. Without practicing meditation, because Khanti Parami Tapo Titika, you need Khanti Parami to help you get rid of the defilements. But the Khanti alone is not sufficient in itself. You need Ubekha Parami, you need Panya Parami. And before you can get Ubekha, Panya Parami, you need to have Nekkhamma Parami. In order to have Nekkhamma Parami, you need to have Sila Parami first. In order to have Sila Parami, you have to have Dana Parami first. In order to have Dana Parami, you need to have Metta Parami first. So these are all the parami that are prerequisite to your eventual enlightenment. You need to have all these parami developed one step at a time. First, Metta Barami, then you go to Dana Barami, then Sila Parami, then to Nekama Parami, then to Nekama Barami, then you go to Ubekha Barami, then to Panya Barami before you can become enlightened. With the support of your Adhithan Barami, Sajja Barami, Viriya Barami, and Kanti Parami. So you need all 10 paramis to become enlightened. From Meli, Sadhu Sadhu. From AV STHA, Namaste Ajahn. Is it wise to practice Amitabha Buddha's name, chanting and follow Pure Land Way to reach Nirvana? By practicing Amitabha, it's like reciting the mantra Bhutto. It can only lead you to jhana and ubekha, not nirvana. In order to get to nirvana, you need to develop wisdom or insight. You need to see the Four Noble Truths and the three characteristics of existence. Wee Suan Kim, Sadhu, Sadhu. From Morris Twig, Prajan, I am blessed that I am in this life through my karma of my previous lives. I build good parami. To hear your fruitful teaching, Anumodana Sadhu. From Kek Yen So, Tanajan, thank you very much for your guidance. Birthday is remembering month, suffering day during birth. What is Ajah's advice for educating the children during birthday? Should the children celebrate birthday based on Ajah's opinion? I think we should celebrate the no birthday, the time when we have no birth. When we become fully enlightened, then that's the day that we should celebrate. The day that we will have no more birthday. So birthday is the day of suffering, really. When you're born, you have to suffer. Your mother suffered already, and you will suffer because your body will get old, get sick, and die. So if you want to celebrate birthday, celebrate in this way, reminding yourself that birth is suffering because it brings aging, sickness, and death. Kim Echua, Ajahn Mahasatu for enlightening and advice. Adrian Bay, Tanajan, I am also struggling to understand the one who knows, because it sounds like a replacement for the Citta. Can you please explain the difference? No, the Citta is the one who knows. The one who knows or the knowing or the awareness. This is the Citta, the mind. You only get to see the mind when you enter into the fourth jhana. That's when your thought stop working. When you stop thinking, then you will be able to see the one who knows, the mind, the knowingness. So it's your thought that keep blocking the one who knows from appearing, from being obvious. It's always there, but it's not obvious to us because our thought keep blocking the one who knows. So you have to meditate to bring your mind to calm, to stop thinking completely. When you stop thinking completely, then you will be able to see the one who knows, which is the mind. From Gigi, from JJ, is it better to remain single or get married? From the point of view of Dhamma, it's better to be single, because when you have married, you will have family, you will have obligation, you will have more suffering. Fei Yen Wong, thank you so much, Long Paul. I am very grateful for your teaching. Paul Ling Sun, thank you very much to Ajahn for entertaining and helping us. So many questions, Sadhu, Sadhu. From Wat Cheong, nice to meet you at this session. From Neil on Meditation, good afternoon. From Kema Jenny, Mahasatu Long Paul. Finally, I met you, who speak perfect English, and the one. Tam Kim Fong. Sadhu Sadhu Ajahn for conducting the Dhamma for asking session. I have gained a lot of Dhamma knowledge just by listening to your explanation on the question posted in this group. Wat Yong, Anumodana to Ajahn for your time and teaching. Me on meditation, the sound is okay. Check link 10. Hi Jack, how are you? Came quite late today. We are about to finish the meeting. Greeting Tan Ajahn. Why does the breath disappear when the mind calms down during meditation? That's because you need less air. The body needs less air as the mind becomes calmer and calmer. There are less action for the body to do. So you don't breathe as much as you breathe when you are doing something else. So this is just the nature of the body. And all you have to do is just to be aware that it is such and doesn't have to do anything. Don't be afraid. Don't think that you're gonna die if you cannot feel your breath. It's like going into hibernation. The body is in hibernation, so it doesn't need as much air like when it's active. Adrian Day, Ajahn, isn't the nirvana, the vijnana, the knowingness? No, the vijnana is the stream of consciousness sent out by the knowingness. The knowingness is the mind, and the mind sends this vijnana, the stream of consciousness, to attach to the body, to be able to receive the sensual object, so that the knowingness we can experience the sensual objects through the stream of consciousness of vijnana. Grape Alwich, thank you Ajahn, this is extremely helpful. Shayam Lama Gurung, Nama Buddhaya Sadhu Sadhu. Anumodana Ajahn from PNDN. Adrian Day, also Tan Ajahn, will you have time to give us desana? I'm giving you right now. This is another form of desana. If you want to listen to my other desana, you can go into the Dhamma in English on YouTube channel. That's where all my English talks are posted there. Or you can read the desana as posted in the Facebook page. From every STHA, respected Ajahn, are there any books or online resources that you would recommend for a beginner? Thank you again, Ajahn. Well, I used to read this book, this website that posted all the Theravada teaching called something like Access to Insight. The website called Access to Insight. That's where all the Theravada teaching can be found. So try to start from there. Go into Access to Meditation, Access to Insight. Access to Insight, I think that's the name of the website. Annie Lam, good afternoon Ajahn. Can I know about Utthaja? Utthaja is restlessness. See, when your mind becomes agitated and restless, then you cannot meditate. So you need to calm down by reciting the mantra. Keep reciting the mantra. Don't think about the things that make you become restless and agitated. Keep reciting the mantra, then eventually your mind will become calm. From Adrian Day, Sadhu Pante. From Czech link 10, dear Ajahn, I have been listening the whole time. Just type in the question link. Thank you for answering my question, Ajahn. I was a little bit afraid when it first happened, but after listening to your advice to other practitioners, I am no longer afraid. Yes, there's no need to be afraid when you meditate. Nothing can hurt the mind. It's only your reaction that will hurt the mind. So stop reacting to anything that comes up in your meditation, just to be merely known. From Alvin Lee Wiping, Anumodana Ajahn. Here's a recommendation for Boris Trick, fruitful books in different languages from the Thai forest tradition, forestdhamma.org. Yes, go to this website. You can learn a lot. Another question from assistant to Ajahn Suchart, from Rita Melita. My younger sister is in a bad state of mind. Do I need to send her picture for Ajahn to give a prayer for her? What should I do for her? Prayer cannot do anything for her, regardless of who gives the prayer. She only have to help herself. No one else can help herself. She just have to develop mindfulness to calm her mind down. Then she will improve. So the only thing you can do is I would recommend her to develop mindfulness. Tell her to keep reciting the Buddha, the mantra, Butto, Butto, or reciting, or do some chanting. If she can do this, then her mind will become calm and then feel peaceful and happy. Okay. I have to ask you to stop sending in the question, okay? Because I'm running out of time and out of energy. So I'll answer the remaining questions, but please don't send in any more questions because I will have to stop this meeting pretty soon because I'm running out of breath. Okay, from Indri, Luang Po, good afternoon. May Luang Po be well, healthy, long life, happiness, strong, powerfully, peacefully, and prosperous. Please, Luang Po, come to Indonesia. With sincerity, Namaskar, Nana Damiko. I am there now through the Facebook Live page, so you can come and see me anytime. I will try to be online a lot of time. Okay, Abisa, thank you, Ajahn. Yes, it is access to insight.com. I am already familiar with that. Okay, good. From Morris Twig, Dhamma talk by Luang Ta Mahabua, translated by Ajahn Suchart. This is also in this luangta.eu website. From Wat Chong, Ajahn, I have been diagnosed with anxiety. When I practice anapanasati, I cannot breathe smoothly. I got scared and stopped meditating. Can Ajahn give some advice? Yes, you can do chanting instead. When you feel scared, do chanting the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha quality. Itipiso Bhagava Arahant Samma Sambuddho Vichācarana Sampanno Sukhato. Keep chanting the three quality of the triple gem. Keep reciting them again and again until your mind becomes calm. If you cannot watch your breath yet, just keep chanting instead, or reciting the mantra Buddho Dhammo Sangho. Keep reciting Buddho Dhammo Sangho, and then eventually your mind will become calm, and then you can practice anapanasati. Okay, from Morris to Avish, Esther Morris, thanks a lot. Okay, Stacy Sai, Sadhu, Kim Echua, Sadhu, Coaching, thank you for sharing, Ajahn. Sorry, Ajahn, for sending questions late just now. It's okay. We'll do it again. I think doing on the weekend is probably a good day. I have more time than on the weekday. So maybe next time it will be on Saturday and Sunday again. Because I get a lot of participants on the weekend more than on the weekday. So thank you very much for all of your questions and your input. I really feel happy to be able to connect with all of you and help you in any way I can. So in the meantime, please keep on studying the Dhamma if you don't know what to do yet. But once you know what to do, then please keep on doing the practice. And then you will get the result eventually, sooner or later. Be patient. As long as you keep on practicing, you will come across the result, definitely. So thank you very much, and goodbye for now.